Hi everyone, Jenna here.
Rich here. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we can't come together to shoot a video physically, but regardless, we still want to continue our book reviews. So therefore, we are connecting online and producing a video like that.
Yes.
So let's hope this goes well. And even if it doesn't, at least we tried.
So what was today's video about?
So today's video will be our August wrap up.
Yes,
Yeah.
Correct. So basically, we're going to review all the books that we read in the month of August. We actually picked out a common book to be read by the both of us. Lo and behold, is Stephen King's Misery. Did you finish it?
Yes, I finished it. In fact, it's like the first book I started.
Same.
Right? I just want to get it out of the way in case it's not good. But
yeah,
I like it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, how about we say our ratings?
Sure.
2, 3,
5.
4.3. Okay, maybe we talk a bit about what Misery is about. So basically, the gist of the story is that the protagonist is called Paul Sheldon.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes,
yeah,
you're
okay.
right.
This is how okay. So one day he was driving and then I think he went off-road or something.
Yeah.
And then who found him turned out to be one of his super avid fan who is called Annie Wilkes. Yeah, so basically Annie Wilkes took him in captivity.
That sounds right.
And then kind of forced him to continue writing this book series that he decided to end.
Which is called Misery.
But in between, so many things happen. And I just cannot believe that an entire book is just based on these two protagonists.
Exactly. It's my very first book that only has 2 characters.
Exactly.
In the entire book.
Yeah, and it's not a short read. It's 300 over pages.
Almost 400.
There are some fringe characters who come and go, but they don't form the story. So it's really just dialogues between these two protagonists, but I'm still left on my edge when I'm reading the book.
Why 4.3? So specific.
Why not 5, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think I like the book, but I think the starting threw me off a bit. Okay. So if I were to compare it to an analogy, it's like going into a swimming pool for the first time. It's cold. You just want to get out of it as soon as you can. As I swam, then things get my body started to warm up, and so I felt more at ease. But at the start, I was
a bit thrown off.
Yeah, I don't like this book. I don't know where is it heading to.
I get what you mean, because the starting is not even proper sentence. It's sounds.
Maybe my brain dance or what lah. But I like books that once I start reading, there is a clear storyline to it. But King's Misery was a bit.
It took a while.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, it's because of his way of writing that I eventually gave it a 5-star.
Right.
Because it's very weird. But I feel like they all help create a very strong imagery that I can somehow picture it.
Yeah, and that's the scary part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's because of how strong this imagery is that even after I finish the book, I still think about the book.
It is scary.
Yeah,
correct. It's how does King even come up with such things? And another thing, interestingly, is that this is my first audiobook.
Right. You read, you listened to the audiobook of Misery.
So I was just in my dining room one day, and I was I need to spice this up a little. So I went on to Overdrive, and so I found out that they actually have an audiobook. So me being me, I can't just listen to an audiobook. So I listened while also reading it on my Kindle. And the thing is, Annie's voice completely threw me off. Because when you start reading a book, you have already an image of how this person will look like as well as sound like. And so when I heard Annie Wilkes on the audiobook, I also be hold up, this is not how she's supposed to sound. But I think the audiobook was good in the sense that it helped me slow down my pace of reading. Because she spoke so slowly, which gave it more tension. Her tone fluctuates.
Okay, fair enough.
To the whole atmosphere of it.
Right.
So I recommend the audiobook. Yeah, because you can actually hear her cackling and giggling, which is scary. Highly recommend the audiobook. Yeah.
So, will you venture into another King's book?
I think I would. Like, I would
Okay.
at least try to get past the first few pages first lah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any in mind?
The Pet Cemetery is good.
I'm looking at the Institute,
I've
but
heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, but it's long. I think it's like 500-ish pages.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's one of his longer books, but I don't think it's as long as Eat.
But at least we enjoyed our first compulsory read.
Yes, compulsory.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we can move on to our
Other reviews.
other reviews out of our free will.
So I read a total of 4 books, including Misery. The other book that I was reading is the Henna Artist. So the Henna Artist basically talks about this protagonist called Lakshmi. So she escaped from her village and her then abusive husband to Jaipur, and she become like a highly requested henna artist there. So this is what the premise of the book is like. Then she basically serves the rich in pursuit of like this independent life. But everything changed when her abusive husband found her and brought a sister with her that she never knew existed.
Her own sister.
Yes. So like when her husband brought her sister to her, she was like, wait, hold up, I have a sister? So then the story kind of unraveled from there. It's a very readable book actually. So it basically transports you to 1950s India. I think throughout the book, I found myself like rooting for Lakshmi, who is like trying to recalibrate her life and like trying to create her own life using the craft and the knowledge that she possesses, which is like henna. But then somewhere along the book, she picks up other skills. So it helps in creating a life that she actually never thought of pursuing. I would recommend it's like a feel-good read, basically.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Is not many books are centered around like henna.
Exactly. I kind of like it. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. What about your read?
Okay, I read 3 books including Misery. So, okay, the first, since you talk about the henna artist, right? So maybe I'll just go into this other book that is quite similar. So this book is called The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abhidari. Highly raved about, right? Yeah. So this story follows the protagonist called Aduni. So this book is set in Nigeria. Yeah, so Aduni is a 14-year-old girl. And because when her mom just passed away, someone whom she's very close to, her dad decided to stop her education and then actually sell her off to a man for marriage. But Aduni is obviously resistant to all this. All she wants to do is to get a good education because her mom told her that it's only with a good education and then you will have a place in society, you will have a voice to make lives better for the others lah. Yeah, so basically she's quite against the idea of being sold off to this man. And so many things happen in between and she kind of escaped.
Okay.
Yeah. So along the way, she met really nice people and really like awful people. Yeah, so the nice people like gave her a sense of hope. Also gave me a sense of hope because they really helped her in pursuing this other path that she wanted to. Yeah, but the nasty people were really nasty. So trigger warning, there's some violence involved in this book. There's also sexual assault, there's rape. Yeah, so these are the things that the book explores lah. It's about Aduni telling her story, right? And Aduni is not yet at least proficient in the English language. Yeah, so some of the sentences are a bit wrongly structured in the grammatical sense. So that could truncate your reading experience a bit. Because you're like, how come this verb like suddenly comes out like that, you know? But I think that adds on to the whole flavor of it.
I've heard about the English part, like the sentence structure and all this from like other book reviews that I saw. I think it's something along the lines of how initially her English proficiency is not that great, but slowly as the book progresses, it becomes better.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
not the best, but a significant improvement in it.
Do you remember how in Misery, without be spoiling too much, the script writer
yes.
yeah, has like missing letters.
Yeah.
Because they have to like manually fill in the letters. The entire experience of reading that, I love it.
Yeah. It just added on to the whole flavor of it, right?
Exactly. Like it disrupts your reading pace, but yet at the same time, you know that it's intentional. Okay, so for the next book that I've read in the month of August is Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Oh, so highly raved about.
Yes, and I finally read it. I described it in our Instagram that it's like cotton candy dressed in rainbow.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. Yeah, it's so sweet. It's more than just a romance that is sweet. It's also about like the support that the protagonist receive. Just to give a very brief context of what the book is about, basically the Prince of Wales, now that we know it's in United Kingdom.
It's about to blurt out England.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's where the Prince of Wales and the first son of the United States meet, and an international romance kind of blooms between them, all in the midst of the US re-election. I think what I like most about the book is the interactions between Henry and Alex, who are like the two protagonists of the book. It kind of reminds me a bit of Aristotle and Dante.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like the interactions is very witty, sometimes a little crude, and sometimes like very sincere, very heartfelt. I think if anything, this is a very progressive book when you have a female as the US president.
Yes.
But I didn't give it a 5-star.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a feel-good book. Some parts of the book is pretty predictable. I think if there are a bit more twists, I might just inch a bit towards the 5-star.
Right. Now it's just like a straight road.
Yes, I can predict what comes next. But it's also exactly because of this prediction and I see it materialize in front of me that I feel good about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's that.
Okay.
Next.
For me, what book is this next? I think it's like a sci-fi. It belongs to a sci-fi genre.
Okay.
And it's the second book in the sequel called The Cows. Not the Moo Moo Cows. So the book is called...
I feel like every time you mention his book name, you have to process a bit.
Because it's so long, the title. I think it's called A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor.
What's the first book name?
An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I think so, yeah.
I think so too.
I've said it so many times. Okay, so as everyone knows, I raved about the first book.
Yeah.
I loved it to bits because it was so fresh. You know, I've never read a book that really talks about things like that like about life on other planet, about aliens, you know, and things like that, and things that happen in our human minds. But this second book, oh no. Okay, the plot in the second book is definitely more sophisticated. But that also means that there are more technical descriptions in there that I could not really understand. Because it talks about the manipulation of the mind and how technology can be used to like control minds and things like that. But to me, I didn't really understand it. It didn't even hit a 4-star for me. Yeah, which is a bit strange given how much I raved about the first book. So I think unpopular opinion here, but it could be just me lah. As I said, maybe my mind too dense, so I cannot think.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe you could read it.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll let you know then. Then again, it's 2 books, and I'm always like a little hesitant about starting on series. I don't know, I feel like the commitment level is
6 of Crows.
Oh god, how many books are there for 6 of Crows?
6 of Crows, there are only 2.
And you finished both, right?
I finished both. And I loved both.
Okay.
That is really so good.
So between 6 of Crows and
6 of Crows, for sure.
Oh,
for sure. It's like Breaking Bad. plus Money Heist, plus like, I forgot what was the other, oh, plus the Hunger Games all combined into a book.
Oh, damn. Sounds intense. All right, so my last book is called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Yeah, which is, I think, is under your TBR also.
Yes.
Just not in August. Yeah, so, well, what can I say? It's a solid 5 out of 5 for me.
Solid.
Like
no questions.
no question. Disclaimer is that it's not a binge-worthy book. In fact, it took me a while, but it's a very introspective book about death, written in a very witty fashion. I mean, like, it's not every other day where you can write a book about death introspectively, and it's even harder to write about death in a witty fashion.
Exactly. Yeah. Something so dark and morbid.
Yes, exactly. The book basically follows Caitlin working in a crematory. So she talks about how the entire personalization of a funeral, from like choosing the material of your coffin to the embalming culture, all this is actually a way of fueling capitalism. Yeah.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Interesting way to think about it.
Yes, and because she's like an insider in the industry itself, she saw how all these different aspects play out. She also talks about her own struggles in facing death or in dealing with death. Yeah, so it's not a book about all the very big theories of death and whatnot. It's not. You can clearly tell her struggles in understanding death as well, and how this book actually plays out in helping her face this whole issue of death. It's a book that I foresee myself rereading, exactly. And I think that's the reason why I give it a 5 out of 5.
Right. Would you say this book is for everyone?
Actually, I think everyone should give it a read at least once. Yeah, because I would think that, I mean, death is something that will happen to everyone. It's just whether or not we want to acknowledge it.
And how we go about doing that.
Exactly. And I think one way we can encourage ourselves to learn a bit more about this thing might be through this book. So,
maybe I will get to it. It might be that. Yeah. It's a non-fiction, right? Just to clarify.
Yes, it's a non-fiction. Yeah. Highly recommend.
Okay. There's another like series that she wrote, right? There's another book that she wrote.
There is?
About people asking her questions, and then she tried to answer like some of the most frequently asked questions or something like that.
Like the same author?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, we'll insert the book here if we do find it.
Yep, okay, yes.
So combined, we have read...
No. 6. 2. Including Misery.
Yeah, 6.
6. Yay! Quite an achievement. Yeah. Okay, that's it from us then.
See ya.
Bye.